You're about to board your next cruise. Suitcases packed, tickets ready, excitement high. But here's the thing, what you packed may never make it on board. Cruise lines quietly updated their rules for 2025, and what used to be harmless, like a power strip or Bluetooth speaker, could now get you flagged at security. After more than 30 cruises, I've learned that every year brings a new round of surprises. Small rule changes that can turn a smooth trip into a stressful check-in. By the end of this video, you'll know the 12 new items and habits that cruise lines have officially banned in 2025, and how to avoid being a traveler who finds out too late. We'll go from simple packing mistakes to the latest tech gadgets that are now off limits. And trust me, number 12 is one even seasoned travelers didn't see coming. Because once you get to the terminal, what's in your luggage is what determines whether you get to start your vacation or have to explain it to security. So, number 1. Power strips and multi-plug outlets. That caught a lot of travelers off guard. Power strips and multi-plug outlets, the same ones people use in hotel rooms, are now officially banned by several major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Carnival. The reason? Fire hazards. Cruise ships have extremely sensitive electrical systems. Even a single surge from a cheap travel strip can trip circuits or overload wiring in your cabin. For years, most travelers packed them and ran. Some even swore off the ones the crew labeled safe. But in 2025, both Royal Caribbean and Carnival updated their official banned lists, and these adapters made the cut. If security sees a power strip in your bag, it will be removed and kept until the end of your trip. And no, labeling it surge protected doesn't help. They're more likely to actually be flagged because of the internal voltage regulators. This is a smart move. Bring a US bond charging hub instead. No extra protection, no outlets, just USB ports. They're lightweight, approved, and safe for every cabin type. It's a small change that makes a big difference. Because if you rely on multi-plug adapters for your camera, phone, and tablet, it's a less stressful place to be before your vacation even begins. Before we go any further, you can grab your free cruise packing checklist linked below. It's updated for 2025 with every new restriction pre-marked. It'll save you that, "Oh, what did I forget?" moment at the terminal gate. This is the exact same checklist I use before every trip. Okay, back to that because the next update affects one of the most common travel gadgets people still bring on board. Number 2. Travel routers and network devices. For years, seasoned travelers have used pocket Wi-Fi routers to share connections with family or boost the speed of the ship. Not anymore. In early 2025, cruise lines officially banned travel routers, satellite dishes, and all personal networking gear. Royal Caribbean's policy lists them under devices that interfere with ship operations. Carnival added similar language a few months later. The reasoning makes sense. Modern cruise ships rely on complex internal communication systems, from bridge operations to emergency coordination. Even small routers can overlap with limited signal frequencies and cause interference. Now, you might be thinking, but it's just a small travel router. How much damage can it do? Well, the problem is that these devices are auto-broadcast signals that can bounce around the ship's internal network. Security officers can spot them instantly, and once detected, they're removed and blocked for the rest of the cruise. The smart alternative is to use the ship's official Wi-Fi plans. They're not perfect, and yes, sometimes slow, but they're secure and fully integrated into the ship's systems. Some lines also offer chat options for messaging apps, which make staying connected, affordable, and reliable. It's a quiet change, but it signals something bigger. Cruise lines are becoming more protective of their digital infrastructure. Just as airports ban wireless devices, ships are tightening up how guests connect at sea. And a theme is starting to emerge: shared spaces, shared security. The next ban takes it even further, because it's not about what's in your bag, it's about what comes out of your bag. Number 3. Bluetooth and portable speakers in public areas. Music is a part of every great vacation. The sound of the ocean, the beat of a deck party, that one friend who plays Margaritaville often. But in 2025, Carnival made a big policy change. No more personal speakers in public areas. That includes Bluetooth, portable, and wireless varieties, even those little clip-on ones. Why? After hundreds of complaints from guests about loud volume battles between groups on pool decks and balconies, Carnival decided to make a change. It's now part of their official safety information page. All personal speakers are kept with security and returned at the end of your trip. Now, this isn't just a vibe issue. It's about the environment. Cruise lines want to preserve a quiet, shared environment. They're designing ships for relaxation, not playlist competition. If you want to listen to music, you can still use headphones or the entertainment options built into your cabin TV system. Some newer ships even have Bluetooth-enabled mirrors that connect privately to your device. No more noise for anyone else. What used to be common, bringing a small speaker to your balcony or hot tub, now risks having your item confiscated. And trust me, No one wants to spend their first day explaining speakers to security. Cruise lines aren't trying to make things difficult. They're just adapting to how passengers use technology. Every year, more gadgets find their way on board, and the goal is to keep them all from getting into trouble, both literally and figuratively. These new rules are part of that change. Fewer risks, fewer disruptions, smoother sailing. But we're just getting started because the next few bans, they go beyond convenience and start touching on safety, mobility, and even privacy. These are rules that most travelers think about until they already standing at the security scanner. So stay with me because what's coming up next includes items that most people still think are perfectly fine to bring. And that's where the real surprise begins. Cruise lines aren't just banning tech, they're also tightening the rules about what you can cook, mix, or even monitor inside your cabin. These changes are small on paper, but big once you start packing. So, let's start with something that flew under the radar until this year. Number 4. Blenders and immersion blenders. Smoothie lovers. It may be a restriction, but it's getting stricter every year. Cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Carnival already ban small appliances that generate heat or use rotating blades, including coffee makers, kettles, and hot plates. And while blenders and immersion blenders aren't officially named on every list, multiple travel blogs and traveler reports say they're likely to be flagged more often during bag scans in 2025. The reason is simple: safety and spillage. Cabins have compact outlets and limited ventilation. Even a small leak or jammed motor can set off a short circuit or smoke alarm, and that's all it takes for security to pull the plug on this thing. So, while the rule isn't new, enforcement is. Think of blenders as part of the same high-risk appliance category. Fine, at home, not worth the trouble at sea. Your better move. Use the ship's cafe or smoothie bar. Most modern ships now offer fresh protein shakes and specialty coffees. No mess, no cleaning, no risk. That's one less thing to pack and one less chance to set an alarm before breakfast. Number 5. Baby monitors. If you're traveling with young children, you've probably come to rely on a baby monitor. It's familiar, comforting, and part of every family's routine. But here's where things get tricky. Baby monitors aren't officially listed on every cruise line's prohibited items page. Yet numerous travel reports and passenger experiences suggest they're increasingly being flagged for security reasons in 2025. Why? Because most baby monitors transmit radio signals, and those signals can overlap with the ship's internal communication frequencies. Even a low-power model can cause interference with the ship's emergency or navigation systems. That's why many security teams now view them as restricted devices, even if the rule isn't written in bold print. Not every ship enforces it yet, but the risk is so real that bringing someone in could mean holding them until they disembark. If you want peace of mind, use the ship's intercom system to check in with family in nearby rooms. On newer ships, the cruise line's official mobile app lets guests send each other messages under the same booking message. No radio waves, no interference, and no safety questions. It's an uncomfortable update for parents, but it makes sense. Cruise ships operate on carefully regulated frequencies. Every signal, every channel, has a role to play in safety. And keeping them clear means faster response in emergencies and quieter nights for everyone on board. And speaking of safety, the next new restriction isn't about communication, it's about mobility. Number 6. Motorized scooters and mopeds. 2025 didn't bring a completely new rule here, but it did bring stricter enforcement of what has been hovering in a gray zone for years. Personal motorized scooters, mopeds, and many e-bikes are now considered restricted items on several cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Mobility scooters used for medical reasons are not. They are fully permitted with documentation. This applies to recreational rides that people use to explore the harbor. Why the crackdown? 2 reasons: battery safety and congestion. Lithium-powered scooters have been linked to fire incidents at airports and ferry terminals, and cruise ships aren't taking any chances. Even when the power is off, their batteries can overheat in the pressure or humidity. And beyond the fire risk, narrow ship hallways and elevators make these devices a safety hazard for both passengers and crew. Official websites don't yet spell out scooters on every list, but travel advisories and first-hand reports confirm that they are being pulled over by security with increasing frequency. So, if you're planning a harbor cruise, the better move is to rent locally. Most major ports now offer approved scooter and motorcycle rentals that meet land-based safety standards, so you gain freedom by reducing the risk of confiscation. Consider it a trade-off of a little freedom for a lot more peace of mind. Because once your scooter is tagged and taken away, you won't see it again until the ship returns home. Okay, we're halfway there, and the next few bans are where even seasoned cruisers get caught. These aren't the old rules. These are the quiet updates that most travelers miss until it's too late. So bear with me, because what comes next decides whether your cruise feels peaceful or chaotic. Number 7. Personal drones. Drones have always been a gray area, But in 2025, cruise lines are clarifying the rule. No drone flights at sea. Royal Caribbean, Disney, and several others have re-emphasized existing restrictions, reminding guests that drones cannot be launched, flown, or operated anywhere on board, even for private photos. You can still pack one for land excursions, but it must remain in your carry-on luggage during the ship's voyage. Why the renewed focus? Smaller, cheaper drones mean more people are trying to use them from balconies, pool decks, and private islands, creating safety hazards for lifeboat drills, restricted areas, and wildlife. Security teams now scan luggage for drone parts and hold them until landing. If you forget to declare it, you could lose both the drone and your boarding privileges. So, the message is simple. Leave it to the flight captain. Enjoy the view. No need for a remote control. Number 8. Handheld radios and walkie-talkies. Walkie-talkies used to be the go-to tool for families and groups on board, but in 2025, high-powered, long-range models are being quietly phased out. Modern ships use the same radio frequencies for crew communications and safety systems. Even small devices can accidentally interfere with these channels, especially models with multiple bands or boosted wattage. Not every walkie-talkie is banned, but if a safety model overlaps with the restricted ranges, it will be pulled until the end of your trip. The safer choice, use your ship's official mobile app. Most cruise lines now include chat features for a few dollars or for free. No static, no interference, and no risk. It's a small shift that keeps signals clear and everyone safe. Because when the bridge calls for quiet channels, you want their message to come through. If you've made it this far, you're the kind of traveler who wants more than superficial tips. You want to understand the why behind every rule, how to get an upgrade, avoid the most common mistakes, and make every cruise smoother than the last. That's exactly why I created the Cruise Smarter community. It's completely free, and it is where I share everything I can fit into these videos. Detailed packing breakdowns, hidden cabin hacks, new policy updates, all in one place. If you want to master every part of cruising, from upgrades to hidden perks, join the Cruise Smarter community using the link below. This is where travelers become experts and every trip feels easy. The next 4 are where the real surprises begin. Let's start with something most people wouldn't even imagine could be considered a hazard. Number 9. Electric blankets and heaters. Here's something that surprises first-time cruisers. Electric blankets and heating pads, even those in the smaller travel size, are now officially banned on most cruise lines. Royal Caribbean lists them under flammable items and heating elements in its prohibited policy. The reason is simple: fire hazard. In a cruise cabin, even a small heating coil can quickly overheat, and there's no place to escape that heat. And security isn't exempt for auto shut-off or low voltage. If it's generating heat, it's flagged. If you need extra warmth, leave the gadget alone. Ask your cabin attendant for an extra blanket or pack a light fleece. Much safer and less likely to end up in the confiscated items bin. It's a small detail, but one that keeps every trip smooth, quiet, and fire-free. Number 10. Candles and open flames. This isn't new, but this is a cruise line that never rests. Candles, incense, and anything with an open flame are strictly prohibited on all major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Norwegian. ULL find this clearly written on their official prohibited items list under fire, hazards, and heating elements. The reason never changes. Fire is the biggest danger at sea. Even a small wick or smoldering incense stick can set off a smoke alarm or, worse, start a cabin fire. That's why these items are always removed during security screening. No questions asked, no exceptions. So, if you want to set the mood, use LED lights or electronic diffusers instead. They give you glow and scent without any risk. It's a simple swap that keeps your cabin cozy and your crew safe. Because no flames are really no flames when you're miles from shore. Number 11. Cabin door decorations and signs. Decorating your cabin door has always been a part of cruise fun. Birthdays, anniversaries, themed trips. But in late 2024, Carnival quietly began phasing out the typical door symbols after a viral controversy over an upside-down pineapple decoration. Now, to be clear, cruise lines haven't banned all door magnets or decorations. You can still personalize your door with signs or photos. What has changed is enforcement around inappropriate or misleading imagery. The upside-down pineapple, once seen as a lighthearted tropical symbol, is now widely recognized as a discreet symbol used in the swinging community. After multiple incidents where families complained or posted viral videos, Carnival reportedly asked guests to remove such decorations. But the crew may ask to remove these items if they cause complaints or are deemed recommended. Smart move. Keep your cabin decor simple, family-friendly, and easy to remove. Command strips and flat magnets are fine. Just avoid signs that might send the wrong message. Cruising is still about fun, not confusion, and a clean door keeps the good vibes going. No. 12. Surge protected power adapter. For years, people said it didn't count. Sure, A single surge-protected adapter is fine. They'd say, well, not anymore. The rule is now pretty clear. Surge-protected adapters and power strips are banned on major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Royal Caribbean's official list of prohibited items specifically mentions power strips, extension cords, and surge-protected devices. The reason is simple: safety. Those built-in fuses can overheat or trip the ship's electrical circuit, and in a closed cabin environment, it's a real fire hazard. Even adapters labeled crew-safe are no longer guaranteed to pass inspection. Security teams are instructed to remove anything that has visible surge components or reset buttons. Now, if you need extra outlets, the safest alternative is the US Bond charging hub. No extra protection, no outlets, just clean power. It has a small adjustment that keeps the ship's electrical system stable and your devices in vacation running smoothly. These 12 updates show where cruising is headed. Better systems, stricter standards, and safer travel. They're not about limiting the fun. They're about making sure every trip runs smoothly for everyone on board. So, when you pack for your next trip, think less about what you can bring and more about what you don't need. Because when your bag makes it through security without a hitch, your vacation starts the moment you step on deck. Now, before we wrap up, a quick reminder. You can find the link to my free cruise packing checklist below. It's fully updated for 2025. This is the same checklist I used before.